too late. How many picket lines we cross just to get back off the floor, then we fall back in the same old game. But it made me realize to see the line and train, the shadows of the hand that always pull the strings. For those who understand the beginning, see the end. Guess who is rising again? Me again, knocking on your door till all your walls come tumbling down. Me again, like Jericho before, Babylon walls come tumbling down, 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 down. Walls tumbling down. Election promises have failed. Those who spoke up have been jailed. Yet we go about pretend we don't see. As I walk through shanty towns, gutters choked with broken dreams. Yeah, they trickle down, don't come so far. But it made me recognize they go to every lane, bend every wheel till they can get all the way. But this time around, they cannot push us around. Guess who is rising again? No, 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 no. Me again, knocking on your door till all your walls come tumbling down. Me again, like Jericho before, Babylon walls come tumbling down, 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 down. Walls tumbling down. Some people say that I am weak, cause I turn the other cheek, only to be disappointed again. What kind of future waits the weak in a world so full with greed? Those with most are those who have to gain. But it made me understand to see the line and trend of the shadows of the hand that always pulls the string. For those who understand the beginning or the end, Rastaman will rise again. Me again, knocking on your door till all your walls come tumbling down. Me again, like Jericho before, Babylon walls come tumbling down. Me again, knocking on the door, all your walls come tumbling down. It's me again, going down. It's me again, tumbling down. It's me again, going down. It's me again, tumbling down. Yeah, all their walls are going down. Everything is going down. Babylon is going down. It's going down. All their walls are going down. All their walls are going down. Walls going down. Going down. Iniquity going down. Celebrity going down. Vanity going down. Going down.
Yeah, the walls come tumbling down. Good morning, Lake County's Lake County Magazine with Terry Larson.
And Pete the Tax Guy. Good morning, all.
And we apologize for having a discombobulated morning this morning. We've had some car problems since our trip to San Francisco on Monday. And it just never seems to end.
It's obvious we're in the wrong business. We need to be in the tow truck business.
Oh my goodness, what an experience that was. Broke down in Calistoga about 7:30 in the evening, and a problem that had been fixed 2 years ago, I guess, or a year and a half ago or something, has reappeared, which was our serpentine belt shredded, basically, and I guess it was due to one of the other parts.
The idle pulley kind of exploded.
Oh,
It got
wow.
off alignment and then hit the engine block, and
Dang, it could have been so much worse.
it could have been a lot worse than what it was.
Yeah.
But according to a auto parts store in Clear Lake, of one of many, they said
goodness
that
they're there.
if the belt had been replaced just a year or two ago, that they should have checked all the pulleys and verified everything was in proper order. Otherwise, just do a replacement then and there.
Well, remember, that was a mechanic we no
Yeah, we know
longer
that.
use.
Yeah, that's why
And
we're
there's
not
a
gonna
reason for that.
That's why we're not going to talk about that.
So that was our big adventure on Monday, but we did get to spend the day with my good friend M. Peggy Quattro, formerly, well, actually still of Reggae Report magazine. And Reggae Report was an international music magazine that I worked for 6 years, and was at the time of my leaving there was assistant editor and second in command to the boss, who was Peg, and she. She still is an amazing character, and a major part.
That's a nice way of putting it.
A major part of the Jamaican and Miami music scene for the last 30 years. So it was really great to see her and our mutual friend Lee Abel, who is a very well-known photographer, shoots all of the Sierra Nevada, Reggae on the River, all the major reggae shows, but she also does other photography as well. And it was nice to see her outside of a concert festival setting, because we were all working at that point and don't get a chance to really talk or get to know each other. So that was really nice. And let's see, what else did we do? Oh, you had baseball on Sunday, got your butt whooped.
Well, hang on. No, hang on. Let's not go down that road right now.
Oh, come on now.
We played a team that we'd beaten twice already this year. And when we get there, I see their starting lineup, and I'm like, I don't recognize any of these faces.
Oh, they brought in ringers.
They had 4 brand new ball players that, yeah, they're old, but they could still play baseball.
Now, just to refresh everybody, this league is for 50 and older, is that correct?
We're in the 55 and over division.
55 and over,
Yeah.
okay. But
Right.
you could be as young as 48 to get in it.
You get 2 exceptions where you can have people in their late 40s, and these folks were in their late 40s. But let's cut that. We did not get our butt whooped. What happened was,
Oh, really?
first inning, I gave up. First 3 batters got 3 hits in a row.
So you got your personal butt
They were
whooped.
singles. They weren't doubles or triples or home runs. I getting the ball over the middle of the plate too much. Then I got the ball down. But I gave up 2 runs that inning. And after that, I gave up 1 more run that was earned. But when you have to get 6 outs an inning, it's kind of hard not to have the other team score. Meaning my team's defense left a lot to be desired.
Blame it on the other guys.
Well, when you get a ball, a slow hit ball go to the first baseman, and it goes right through the wickets. And I'm looking at, really, dude?
Are we playing cricket now?
And then we had a ball hit to right field, and the second George, who's a great
Yes.
guy, but he hasn't played ball in 30
Who
years.
has been watching the America's
On
Cup
his
from
own
his
yacht.
own
Yeah.
private yacht down in Marin?
He sees the ball hit to him over his head, and he just stares at the ball like, oh, am I supposed to catch it? And that goes for a triple because he just stood there and watched the ball.
Oh, my goodness.
But they're my teammates. I love them to death. I'm not complaining.
He's probably over-medicated.
Yeah. he doesn't remember the 80s, if that tells you anything.
It tells me a lot.
Now, there was one thing I wanted to do, folks. In the last couple of weeks, I've mentioned that we were playing this team that actually had a true ex-Major League pitcher on their team. And I'm not going to mention his name because I don't have...
No, I think you should.
Bill Spaceman Lee played for the Montreal Expos, and he earned his nickname quite well. And
that
now
was probably when I worked for them.
Actually, I mentioned that to him.
The team, really?
Yeah, him and Washington.
Yeah, when I was.
Yeah. We're not going to go down that road, but I mentioned to him.
Oh no, that's a different team.
Oh, was it? Oh, that was the other team. Never mind. Anyway, here's a gentleman. I come to bat in the first inning, and I don't mean to bore you folks, but this is interesting. We had a man on first, and I get in the batter's box, and first ball comes in, and I think with a ball, it doesn't matter, strike. Anyway, second pitch came in. It was right in my zone. I just missed it, and I fouled it off. And I always speak to the baseball. You know, I'm a pitcher. I always speak to the baseball, and I speak to my baseball bat. I'm like, Nick, come on, Mike, get out of play. Get out of play. Go, go, go. And I hear this voice from the other dugout saying, if you knew how to control your bat, you knew where the ball would be going. And I'm like, excuse me?
Like, that's the first time you batted a ball before? He has to give you instructions?
Yeah, this is Mr. Bill Spaceman Lee saying this
my
from the
goodness.
dugout. Because he was playing first base off and on, so he wasn't pitching yet. And I turned to him like, really, dude? You're going to tell me at my age that I should know where the hell I'm swinging and where the ball's going to go? And I looked at him and said, do you think I'm a professional? He looks at me, obviously not. And he wasn't smiling, he wasn't joking, he was being deadpan serious. And he says, well, if you don't know what the hell you're doing, maybe you should be playing baseball.
Whoa.
And I'm like, really, dude? You want
getting
to
insulted.
Yeah, you want to bring it out now? Come on, get it. Let's go.
Whoa.
And the umpire said, Pete, calm down, mellow out. He's just kidding. He said, no, he's not kidding. And the catcher made a smart-ass remark, which I just ignored because I want to put the
Man.
baseball bat over his head.
That's so wrong.
So I was very disappointed. Yeah, we lost. Our defense, we did not play well. We take full responsibility for our loss. But all the other teams we play in this league, we have a very good relationship with. We have other ex-Major League ball players. Some of them are pitchers, some are not. We have Rich Murray, for you San Francisco Giant fans. You know who he is. He's a gentleman. He toys with me when he bats because he knows he can kick my butt anytime he wants because he really is a true professional ball player. But they all have great attitudes. They don't have their ego sticking out of their back pocket. But Mr. Lee, I'm afraid, I know he's not listening because he doesn't live in this area. Give me a break. Will you grow up? This isn't professional baseball. We pay to play. They don't pay us.
And everybody's old. Hello. Have a little burst.
Let me tell you, he's not exactly in great shape. He's got a nice little...
Oh, yeah, he's got a big gut. See,
Yeah.
that's the thing I don't like about the baseball guys.
But I did face him at the last inning.
When I heard one of your guys was 340 pounds, I just
Yeah, I know.
about died.
Anyway.
Well,
Anyway.
so you did have an at-bat.
Yeah, I batted against him the last inning, and everyone's saying, he only throws soft stuff now. He's getting old. And I said, okay, I'll wait for that. First pitch fastball went, I'm like, well, okay, no. He's still a pitcher. He was probably throwing in the low 80s to mid 80s, and he has an unbelievable slider, folks. I mean, something you can't even recognize unless you got a really good trained eye.
Really?
But I got around on him. I hit his fastball, and
Did you?
unfortunately hit it to right center gap. But the center fielder came over and picked it up for the last out of the game. But I hit him. He didn't fool me or anything.
That's good.
Anyway, that's my story.
Well, that was nice.
But the point is, folks, I don't care who you are in life. I don't care what position or level you've accomplished in the corporate world or self-employment or baseball. Check your ego. Give me a break.
It's a game. Why the heck you got to be mean? I don't understand.
No, it was mean intent. It
Yeah.
wasn't joke. I mean, I joke with the guys who I know, and they just, okay,
I
fun,
think he
haha.
was threatened by you.
Yeah, all 5'7", 130 pounds.
Hey, you're still a good pitcher.
Well, their pitcher on their team, Doc, the one who ran over me
Yes.
in the beginning of the year.
See, that whole team, you guys have it in animosity.
Yeah, they've
anyway.
abused me physically a lot.
Yeah.
But he came over during the game and said, hey, you know something, Pete? No matter what anyone says, you're one of the best competitors in this league.
He said that to you?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
that
said,
was
you hang in there no matter what happens to you, and we appreciate playing against you. So that was kind of nice.
Good.
As he drives away, there's an Avanti. I haven't seen an Avanti in generations. That's a car, by the way.
An Avanti?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, that's an Italian car.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, he's a doctor, like I say. I found your tape, by the way.
Oh, you did? Good. I want to play that.
I know. It's 0004.
But I need it. Okay, good. Thank you.
That's his speech, not the interview. The interview's right next to it.
Yeah, that's what I say. They kind of follow each other, right? We'll play both of them.
Okay.
So we're talking about the John Trudell interview and his
Well, that's a long
talk
speech. That's over 40 minutes.
His talk was 40 minutes.
30 to 40 minutes, yeah.
No way.
I think so. So start off with the interview when you're ready.
I'll look at it. And see.
Anyway, we got people calling him for some strange reason.
Yes, we do.
We
have
must
a
have bored
caller.
the hell out of them
I
already.
guess they don't know our no calls before 9:30
That's all right.
rule.
They're bored.
Okay, so we have two callers. I'm going to ask the first one to say hello.
Is that me?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, that's
Buenos
you.
dias.
So caller 2, remain on the line, and we'll be right with you. Hi, how you doing?
Good. How's it going?
Oh, it's going great.
So So you missed your cue. You were basically complimented by the ringer. He was obviously threatened by you. And
I don't know if he was threatened or
No,
not,
that's
but you
what
know,
I say. I agree 100% with that.
I'm only,
yeah, no, he's serious. If he's serious, then you're a good player. Then he's threatened by you, and you missed your cue. Next time, smile at him.
I will, but you know, I'm literally 5'7", 130 pounds, and I have a temper, and I don't like being back talked. That's the first thing that will really get my temper going.
He knows that, and he's going to heckle you more.
Well, no, it's the first time I've ever met him. He lives on the East Coast, and he comes out here for like 2 games a year, but this time he's been out here for the last 7 weeks playing. So
Oh.
If he's been playing the game a long time, he can read you like a book, my friend.
yeah, that's what some of the other guys who've played pro ball have told me. Said, you know, this is what happens in the majors, especially if you're a rookie.
Yep.
They really go after your temperament and all that good stuff. So he was testing me.
Yeah, I think it's a good sign.
But I didn't back off. I mean, I didn't go overboard. I just kind of looked at him and said, dude, if you want to bring it on, let's go now. Otherwise, just shut up.
Well, Pete did make the All-Star League this year, too.
Be grateful you're not a black player in the 50s.
Well,
No,
yeah,
old
no
white
comment.
guy is just about as bad, though.
No, you're absolutely right. I understand what you're saying.
So the lake is pretty today. It wasn't that great. The last couple of days, it kind of got soupy, and it wanted to go past its tipping point. But the wind came up and knocked it all down. So the lake is in really good shape. The weekend, it seems like the Saturday pattern was stuck again. We had kind of a crappy day on Saturday, and the water was bad. It was mixed. The algae was mixed all the way down to the bottom of the lake, it looked like.
Yeah,
And
it's pretty well mixed in, yeah.
you had to go pretty far out to see clear water, and there was a little bit of smell in Clear Lake. But overall, for this time of year, it's outstanding, and today's a really, really good day.
Yeah, we've had some wonderful, wonderful.
Actually, the lake's been pretty calm the last few days. We had one really rough day over the week, end of last week, and then lately it's just been very calm, almost like ice. Glass.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the lake report for today.
All right,
Awesome.
sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Great
Have a
show.
great
Thank
day.
you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I really appreciate the lake report. Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, it's me, Mahi Rabi. I'm enjoying the baseball stories.
Thank you.
I'm so glad.
I can throw in some Caribbean accent. You could tell him that flattery ain't going to get him anywhere. Remember, Jacob Miller said mixed up moods and attitudes don't work. You tell him cut back on the caffeine and red meat.
Yeah, the problem is I do have an attitude, especially if I'm on the mound pitching. If a batter looks at me the wrong way, that ball's going right next to his chin.
Y'all know what's got 18 legs and catches flies?
A baseball team.
A baseball
Okay.
team, yeah. Even I got that one. Thanks. You still there? Okay, he disconnected.
Oh.
Okay. So, yeah, we can move on then.
Yeah.
The other exciting things in our day? Well, we just spent Saturday afternoon at home with some friends. That was good.
Yes, friends.
Nice and quiet.
Yes, see? Yes. Did my normal chores around the house.
Yes, good man. Well, I did mine on Sunday while you were at the baseball game.
Yes.
It was too hot for me to go.
By the way, it was a beautiful day to ride the HD over the hill into Santa Rosa and back. But I love going over the hill on the bike. It's the turns are just nice.
Mount St. Helena.
Yes.
Awesome, too.
Yes,
Such a
so-
beautiful place.
Yes. What else? We did something else last week. I can't remember what it was.
Well, look, you're the one that's not supposed to have the
Well, let's talk
short-term
about
memory
Frisco a little
loss.
bit.
Yeah, I
We
want to
w-
talk about the America's Cup.
We
that was
went
so much fun.
down, left the house about 10-ish, got down to Frisco Golden Gate about 12-ish, 12:30-ish, and it was just inundated in fog. And it was so beautiful coming towards the bridge and seeing the fog over the bridge and over the bay and everything else. That was beautiful.
What amazed me about that fog, and granted, we're both kind of newbies to the whole fog thing, living in the
Well,
tropics
you've
and the
been living in a
desert for
fog
so
your
long.
whole life.
Well, yeah, that comes naturally, but it's a different kind of fog.
Sorry, folks.
And what was really nice, like when we were coming through Sausalito, and the fog was just coming over the top of the mountain there from the ocean, and it was moving so fast and swirling, and it was almost like a horror movie type thing, the way it was coming in so heavy
was,
and
exactly.
thick, and you couldn't even see the top of the Golden Gate Bridge, the cables. You couldn't see that from the middle of the bridge by the time we got there, and it was sunny on the other side of the bridge for the rest of the day. And it just stayed out there on the bay. It was just incredibly beautiful. And we got to see Oracle,
We saw Oracle, the boat.
America's Cup ship, in action. It was sailing. They were practicing, which they really needed to do, considering they lost the next race and gave up on the second one.
It's 3 to -2.
Oh, geez. You know, they just really have disappointed us. I'm so sad.
Part of the problem is, and I'm not saying they deserved it or not, but they got a bad penalty by having a -2 losses. Plus,
how'd they get the penalty? By doing something that wasn't legal.
Allegedly, yes.
Yeah.
And they've lost 4 of their crew members. So in a situation like that, you know, it's hard to coordinate a team and all of a sudden lose 4 of your main people. So I think that's mostly the problem, along with the boat being a lot slower than the New Zealand boat.
Well, that's it, you know, so I just think that, you know, we could have done a lot better.
Yeah,
and
the problem
I'm
is-
kind of disappointed because it's an Aussie captain.
Well, that's it. We got a Kiwi boat against an Aussie captain on a U.S. boat. And since I'm both Aussie and American, it's like, this is a double whammy. This ain't cool.
No.
We cannot let the Kiwis continue this. I will be totally embarrassed on both sides of my nationalities.
That's true. And then, we met those nice Aussie people that were there.
But they're all, well, hang on.
Here we
meet
are,
Aussies,
everywhere we go, right?
but aren't they always nice and pleasant?
No, they're the most fun people. What I loved that I heard that made me feel good was he said he's never met an ugly American. Well, at least until he met us. But
Speak for yourself.
well, no. But they were very, very impressed with the San Francisco area, and they also were very impressed with the people. They said that everyone has been so friendly, and like he said, he'd never seen an ugly American yet. And from the time they got on the plane, they've had nothing but good experiences, and it's just so good to hear that.
Now, before I make this comment, I'm going to just tell you that this gentleman and his wife was from Melbourne, which is where I'm originally from. But when I said, "Well, isn't Frisco just like Sydney?" and he looked at me and said, "Nah. Much nicer, much more friendlier, and a lot more to do." And I'm like, fair enough.
Yeah, I agree, because you know what I found about Sydney was the attitudes of the people on the street were more foo-foo, kind of, we're too good to talk to you, nobody really looks at you. It's a little snobby.
Yeah, Sydney thinks it's the only major city in Australia, and they have a little bit of
I found
an
Melbourne to
attitude.
be much more comfortable.
Melbourne's more down to
and so was
earth.
Brisbane. I didn't have a problem there.
Oh, Brisbane's just beautiful, but
Yeah, that's just like
but
a
there's a
party
main
town.
there's a main rivalry between Sydney and Melbourne, just like L.A. and San Francisco. So, but probably 100 times worse in their rivalry. So when a gentleman from Melbourne says this is much better than Sydney, you got to take everything with a bit of a grain of salt. But Frisco is nice. I have to admit that.
Yeah, I mean it is. It's a wonderful international city.
Yeah,
We've got restaurants, we've got clubs, we've got nightlife, we've got day life, you got sailing. Oh my gosh, I saw so many sticks there. It was just and the big tall ships, and
It was nice.
you know, if you're into sailing, that's like a mecca for a lot of people.
And
A
folks,
little too rough for me as a newbie, but
Yeah, but we saw the Oracle, and you don't understand how big or how large this boat
The mast.
is until you actually see it. It's amazing.
130 feet tall.
Yep.
It's a what they call a 12 meter, so it's 72 feet long, and then the 130 feet tall mast, 13 stories.
It's just incredible.
It's massive, and then they had the experience there, of course, where you could go walk around and experience different parts of the America's Cup. And Mum Champagne was there.
Yeah, except there were no freebies.
I thought they were doing a tasting. You know,
yeah,
we're so
no.
spoiled here.
We're in the foo-foo area, so, it's way high budget.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I hit the wrong button on that one. So if I cut somebody off, please call back. Okay, we have another phone call. Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, Terry. This is Willow Oak.
Hello, Willow Oak. How are you?
Oh, I'm just fine. You were talking about San Francisco, and
Yes.
that reminded me of one of the times when I was there, and they had about 20 tall sailing ships in for Fleet Week.
Oh, my gosh, I'd love to see that.
Oh, it was gorgeous. It was so wonderful. Usually they have the Blue Angels, but I think that for all sailors, the big tall ships are a
It's the
common
biggest
heritage.
thrill, yeah.
And, they would all sail around the bay, and, walking along the pier, they'd have old salts playing little squeeze boxes and singing sea chanties, and it was just such a marvelous exhibition of real sailing. I was just thrilled to know that there were 20 tall ships that they could have come over for Fleet Week.
Yep. Absolutely, it's just an amazing experience. I've witnessed some things like that down when I lived in the Virgin Islands in that area.
Oh, I bet that would be wonderful.
They had a lot of seagoing vessels there. But I can't even imagine it in the bay because the bay is just so rough and rugged and just we were watching as one huge freighter came in loaded with containers on it, obviously from China, and then next crossing in front of that was a little red sail junk or some kind of boat going right across the front of its bow, and then another boat comes in from behind the stern and crosses over on the other side.
Yeah, well,
one of the tourist boats, and it's just
I know, yeah, it's
astounding.
A very busy bay. Well, yeah, when the sailing ships were sailing around, the Sausalito ferry came chugging across the other side of the bay, and it was such a funny contrast. This huge ferry with those delicate, graceful sailing ships. It was just wonderful. I also wanted to mention that I finally found your mailbox and left a newsletter in there for you.
Thank you so much.
Well, I came up for the orientation and stuff.
Oh, yeah. How did you enjoy that? Our friends that we were with on Saturday were also at that orientation.
It was delightful and wonderful. I finally got to meet Olga Martin Steele it was exciting.
That's great.
I'm looking forward to this with great joy and humility.
So when do you start?
I have no idea. Right now, the person that knows how to do radio things and the other person are terribly busy all this week, and so I'm just sort of regrouping and gasping and taking deep breaths.
Exactly. I think that's great, though. I'm so excited. I'll be definitely tuning in.
Oh, well, I hope so. I really want feedback from people, because I want to serve both communities.
Awesome.
I think it's just really exciting. Anyway, carry on, my dears.
Thank you, darling. Have a nice day. Oh, she's so lovely.
And yes, folks, we actually do have one or two friends.
Oh, yeah. Occasionally we do have some things friendly happen. Alrighty, and that pretty much wraps up our week. What else was last week?
We got to talk about the goats.
Oh my gosh, this morning, another reason why not this morning, but last night it started. The goats had a rebellion. Okay, Lucy and Clementine decided they were not going to go back in their pen last night.
Well, first of all, Clementine's the ringleader. Let's just keep it right there.
She was the first one, and Lucy's the newbie, but she follows Clementine, and whatever Clementine does, Lucy does. So that was the issue. They usually are fairly easy to get back in their pen. They're kind of timed with the sun going down. When it gets dark, then they decide that they go in. Well, now they've realized that the whole yard is fenced, so they're basically safe from any predators, even outside the pen. And there's a lot more food out there.
A lot more food.
Even though we have a big bale of hay in there for them. But, they want variety, so they figured that they weren't going to go home last night. So Pete and I both chased them and tried to get them driving back in. Usually when I make a bunch of noise and clap and stuff, they'll go back in their pen. And
Lucy usually goes in because she feels safe there.
Yeah. But last night they decided to rebel. So they spent the night outside their pen last night.
A mutiny.
This morning, they still refuse to go back in their pen. And they're really funny because when I was trying to get them in last night, Lucy was standing on the concrete deck that is right next to where the hill is that they like to go up. And she was just going, really soft. Like talking to me, telling me, look, it's not me, it's her. I just have to do what she says.
Exactly.
And so I was throwing pomegranates at them, trying to get them to go in, and they would just stop and eat the pomegranates. There was no challenge there. So we gave up because it was too dark and I didn't want to get hurt. But this morning I said, enough is enough. And when I came out, they were over by the steps which go up to the road, and they were just hanging out going, hey, what's up? And I'm like, oh, you want to know what's up? Let me show you. And I pulled out my hose, and it had a little kink in it, so it didn't have the full power on it. But I shot it at them, and they said, oh, this is nothing, man. She got no power. I go all the way up to the top of the fence and wait for her to just give up. So I said, oh, you think you're smart. I unkinked the hose and pulled it all the way out. It's like 100-foot hose or something gigantic, and it goes all the way into their pen. So I went to the edge of the deck and I pointed it up onto the hill where they were at, and I shot it at them, and shoot, we got to get out of here. And they started running back towards the pen, but they were still not trying to go in the pen. So I had to continuously shoot the water from the top of the hill all the way down the hill along the fence line until they finally ran into the pen.
No wonder you were so muddy.
Oh my gosh, I got completely covered in mud, and I was wearing these shoes that have no toe holders, so my feet had slid all the way through both shoes, and they were full of mud.
We're not going to let...
My dress pants covered in mud. I'm still wet from washing everything.
Well, we're not going to let a pair of goats dictate
Oh my
lifestyle.
gosh, they are so nervy. I cannot believe they actually rebelled and refused
And then
to go
they
home.
had our dog, who is half Australian Shepherd, who is a herding dog, cornered on our
wuss
deck
dog.
and just quivering like, oh God, don't hurt me, don't hurt
Lucy
me.
doesn't like dogs.
No.
Clementine's fine with her, but Lucy doesn't like them. And what was really funny is, you probably didn't realize this, but I was actually in the bathroom when the goats were on the deck, and all I could hear from downstairs
Clop,
was all this.
They were going after the tomato plant.
Trying to get to my pepper tree. They cut that thing down completely.
So if anyone has a clue on how to herd goats without using water, let me know.
No, I don't mind shooting the water at them. That was actually very harmless.
Well,
but knowing them, they'll get used to it, and then they'll really defy us.
All right, we bored the hell out of somebody. Someone's calling in.
Probably somebody who knows about goats going, you fools.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is John.
Oh,
John, how
Mr.
you
John.
Did I miss something, or did you guys turn over a new leaf, or what is this?
Why?
Coffee talk with Terry and Peter
our
and
first
Terry?
half hour is usually banter, and we haven't, we kind of talk about our week. And
Yeah, we
everything.
rave and ramble
We're
on.
kind of going overboard, but the goats were just so much
I
fun.
tell you. So listen, what do we got going on for Lake County here? We know what's going on down with what's his name, and down there at Oracle, and his sailboat.
Yeah, we're losing, man. It just really, really hurts me that they're not doing better. They lost 4 of their guys because of the suspensions.
Well, what has it been? 15 years since we've held the cup.
No, we have it right now.
We have it right now.
We're defending it.
We're defending it, but we're not doing a good job defending it. I'm really upset with these guys. They could do a lot better.
Very upset with my Australian captain. He should know better.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the bummer.
Amazed. I grew up down in that area. Fog was a common occurrence.
Oh, yeah. And then
grew
we
up in a
ate at
town called-
Alioti's right there at the Fisherman's Wharf. It was
Alioto's,
nice.
yeah.
Alioto's, right.
Yeah.
It was so good.
We lived in a city called South San Francisco, which was later
That's where
referred
my
to-
friend Lee lives, I think.
referred fondly to as Fog City.
Yeah. We know.
You go down to Burlingame, which is where we all ended up eventually, hopefully, if we played our cards right. We would look up north to South City area, and we could see the fog blanket come in. And there was times, I can tell you, that down in the sun in San Jose and Burlingame and San Mateo, I would look up at the fog and think, oh my, isn't it a nice place just to go drive and hide in the fog somewhere?
Well, you just answered a question for me, because all the years I've played my baseball World Series in Phoenix, there's always a team called Fog City, and I never knew where the heck. Now I understand.
You know where they're from.
Yeah, thank you.
Exactly.
So what about the Canocti Harbor Inn? And
We were going to talk about that.
Oh, yeah, that's all on our list. We got 2 hours, so we're going to talk about all that. I said
we got all kinds of stuff we can talk about,
Yes.
how we can improve
So what
our
you're saying
county
is
here.
you don't want to hear about our adventures, that it's time to get on to business.
No, I love to hear about your adventures, but I also love to get my Wednesday morning to vent and get all the stuff out that we need to.
Okay, so you're using us to vent your okay, I got it.
Move
It's
on,
missing
kids.
our
Come on.
venting. Okay, yes,
I got to go back
Daddy.
to work.
Yes, boss.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Hello, you're on the air.
Well, I hate to double dip, but you asked for it.
We asked for it?
Yes. I did time on a goat farm.
Oh.
Oh, my God. So you know how they are.
Yeah, I do. I
so
do.
small.
I know how obnoxious many goats can be.
Well, the ringleader is a San Clemente goat, and the dumb one is a boar goat.
oh.
And I mean, she really is
Well,
handicapped.
boar goats can be a handful because that's what was being raised on this goat farm I lived on.
Oh, my, yeah.
Anyway,
She's
a
the
pair
rebel of
good
the bunch.
sturdy sticks, like quarter staffs, and you beat them together and you chase them with that, or a big chain that you rattle at them and tell them they're going to be chained
Oh, something
up.
that makes a lot of noise, yeah.
A lot of noise, and you threaten them with it.
Oh.
You look them in the eye and say, you are going to be chained up,
Oh, okay.
and rattle the chain.
Well, we're
or-
making them stay in their room for the next 2 days. They can't come out.
That's fine. But when they get out and you want to hurt them,
Yeah.
threaten
That's a
them
good tip.
with being chained up. Go down to a hardware store and get some big fat chain, a length of that you could chain them up with.
Won't that hurt their feelings?
Of course it will. That's the point.
You got to show them who's boss.
Yes.
Get the alpha goat.
And,
Yeah, I forgot.
oh, yeah. I mean, I've dealt with a bunch of goats at a time, and some really, really rude and obnoxious goats.
I've never expected goats to be this way. I figured they're like, whatever,
He
dude.
totally
you know.
underestimated
Come on.
them.
I figured they were stoners, you know?
No, they are, but you have
No.
to feed them a whole bunch of it to get them loaded.
That could be arranged.
Well, they like leaves. When I left the goat farm, I left a whole bunch in the freezer for him to feed to them
really?
when they were going to market. 'Cause
It doesn't
that would
hurt
get
them?
Oh, no, they love it.
See? I told you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, well, think about where they have been raised in mountain territories around the
Well, that's-
Mediterranean. And
yeah.
think what else grows there. I've
Yeah.
seen pictures of
Yeah, good
amaranth
point.
and pot next to each other. And, I mean, this is something humans and other critters have been using forever.
You mean
Exactly.
people grow marijuana?
Well, one of my
my
favorite
goodness.
tales is when they found this grave goods of this Siberian shaman that dated to 5,000 BCE. Mm-hmm. And there was some sensimilla in there with it.
You see? And they even found it in the Egyptian tombs.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah, it's been around.
Well, yeah, we know it's an ancient plant, and they're
Well,
just
that's
trying
why
to
we
hide
have
the benefits.
receptors in our bodies.
Exactly.
We've evolved together.
That's correct.
Exactly.
Anyway, carry on again.
But thank you very
you.
much.
Well, hopefully Mr. Brown's listening.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, let him know that marijuana and cannabis products actually can be very healthy
that's
for you.
something else I want to
know,
talk about
yes.
is that other letter that was
Yeah,
sent out.
let's get onto that subject now, and
You
then we
want
can
to,
move on
since
to
we're
Konaktai.
segueing there?
Yes.
Let me see if I can find it. But let me give a little background. There's a movement going on that is trying to stop all growing of cannabis in people's yards, residential areas.
And they're
completely.
recommending that as an ordinance, folks.
And they are communicating with Rick Coel, and this is something that's being dealt with in a very low-key underground level. And there is a movement of emails going around and recommending that people call their councilman and tell them they don't want any marijuana growing. And it's just pretty scary because nobody seems to know who this guy is, but he has taken this on. And here's what his latest release says. County staff is now preparing Lake County's final marijuana ordinance for presentation to the Board of Supervisors in November. Staff will present those provisions it believes the board is likely to approve. The board will approve those provisions it believes acceptable to most. In parentheses, read vocal, close parentheses, residents. So basically, he's saying if you make noise, the supervisors are going to listen. Well, that goes two ways, guys. So if we make noise, the supervisors are going to listen too. If you believe that Lake County's marijuana problem is worsening, and I don't know how he could think it's worsening because there's like huge busts every single week, or if you are personally affected by nearby marijuana grows, pit bulls, threats, etc., do this. He gives a list of instructions on how to file a complaint, how to get in touch with your supervisor, and then send the same email to your friends, neighbors, and relatives. So basically, who are plagued by marijuana grows. Okay, folks, here's the first news flash. It's legal. It's okay for us to grow it. We're allowed. You got a problem with it and somebody's growing it illegally, call the sheriff's department. You don't need to bother your supervisor with that. Turn them in. If you know that they're growing and they don't have a card and they're over their county limit, turn them in. If you try to deny the rights of citizens to grow their own medicine, you are going to face legal ramifications and a lawsuit of unheard of proportions. This is totally absurd. And the last part of it says, if you're not bothered by marijuana grows, consider this. While it may change hands dozens of times and count as income to dozens of businesses and employees, you will eventually see a dollar spent by a family vacationing in Lake County. What people are coming here to vacation in Lake County?
Well, that's not because of the marijuana issue.
But
though.
only if vacationing families feel safe enough to come here, and that is the long-term harm marijuana grows cause our county. What a bunch of baloney. You are not alone. And then to file an anonymous complaint, he has a link. And then, of course, he has a table for a quick guide to check compliance, which less than a half an acre is 6 plants with 75-foot offsite, from offsite to residence, feet to offsite residences. So the setbacks. Half an acre to less than an acre, it says clearly 12 plants. So that those people who are being persecuted for having 12 plants, the county is breaking their own law. Mm-hmm. The law clearly says here half up to less than 1 acre is 12 plants.
But they have the space limitation is increased, though, isn't it?
The setbacks are 75 feet, the same as if they are for 6 plants.
I thought that was 65 feet for 6 plants.
75.
Oh, okay.
And then up to less than 5 acres, from 1 acre to 5 acres, 18 plants. And that's 150 feet. Now, they might have been trying to do 18 because it does say 1 up to. So the 1 acre point is actually in both levels. Mm-hmm. So it could be interpreted either way. And the county's saying it's got to be interpreted to 12. Okay.
Right.
That was a zoning thing that went down a couple weeks ago. Okay. 5 up to less than 40 acres is 36 with 150 feet, and 40 acres and more is 48. So the maximum you can do is 48 plants. Okay. Hello, you're on the air.
It's me, the exiled Florida native again, Robert.
Yes, sir.
You know what? That's frustrating how they're always framing trouble by decree and they're never done. And I try to pick a spot to move when I'm looking at Google Earth and I see the lake and I see the atmosphere, and then all I hear about is this grievous propaganda. And what about everybody have to smell the smell from the grape fields, thousands of acres? They pay themselves millions of dollars in taxes, but we all can call and say we can hardly stand that.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I used to have to get up off Sauter Bay Road and go to Middletown all day so I could come back in the evening when the wind turned around because of the smell off that lake that comes from the spray on them groves.
Right.
It evaporates off the lake, but they just want to ignore it.
Plus, if it's not an organic one, we're getting exposed to all their chemicals when they spray for bugs and pesticides and all that stuff. It is, and there's no conscience. That's what really upsets me, because people who are ill are the ones who are using this stuff. And yeah, maybe some people are making money on the excess, but they actually are by law allowed to share that excess with other people that they're growing for in exchange for compensation for their work. That's how it is set up. So they're allowed to have that. And
it's gone mad. They would be persecuting the people on the Wheaties box, the mole farmers, or Michael Landon too.
Yeah. Well, I've always said that it should be considered part of the farmer agriculture, because it is a plant, regardless of what they want to say about it. And
it's good
people should
you chase the goats like that. That's good training for getting these politicians out of here. Your goats are driven, sheep are led.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you for that tip.
Have a good day, y'all.
Thanks, you too.
Okay.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hello. I thought that I showed Joe that email that I had from that jerk.
Oh, you've been getting them too? Oh, man. That's what I think came through.
There was a pastor brought it to my attention because he sent the first round of them out to all the pastors to start agitating in their congregations.
Yeah.
He's some sort of a real estate hustler. I'm not sure what. But
I'm hesitating to say his name because I don't want to glorify what he's trying to do, but I'm almost ready to expose it just to let people know who he is and what kind of person he is.
I'm getting ready to print his name in the paper and...
Whoops, hold on.
The radio.
Yeah, hang on. There you go. There you go.
But...
Yeah, no. It's definitely wrong, and he's providing misinformation, and he's exploiting the fear factor, is what he's doing.
I suspect if you research him, he was neighbors with Randy Regal, and since Randy died, he's got to pick up the cross.
Oh, that could be.
Well, as I said last week or a couple weeks ago when we discussed this in the original email that went out, I said, he's doing what he feels is right. It doesn't matter if we obviously disagree with it. So we need to do the same thing. We need to speak up. We need to call the supervisors. We need to call all our elected officials. We need to do something about it ourselves. We need to voice our side of the story.
Exactly.
And if we don't, then we only have one person to blame.
There's one school of thought that thinks Hitler believed in what he was doing too.
Oh no, I understand that, but the point is, he's advocating his viewpoint, and what are we going to sit around and say? Oh, you shouldn't be doing that, or are we going to do something about it? Are we going to speak up ourselves?
I mostly tend to ignore ignorance and not forfeit by noticing it.
Well, we know it's ignorant. The question is he getting anyone to actually call the supervisors and having them listen to him? So why take the chance? Why shouldn't we be emailing and calling our supervisors?
No, I agree. And, if you don't know how to get a hold of your supervisor, I can tell you how if you'd like.
My particular one is fairly elusive. I think he lives in Oregon mostly now.
Oh, gee, I wonder who that is.
Nice.
Yeah. He's around. He was at the city council meeting a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he comes through town every now and then.
Well, I guess he ought to.
For $60,000 a year, why not? Yeah.
Tell them congressmen go back to their district a couple times a year, so I guess supervisors don't have near the responsibilities they do. Well, maybe. Well, anyhow, I think y'all have probably got his email address and stuff too, but he's not real secret, and I hope he listens sometime so he will know he has no friends in the community to speak up.
You're talking about the gentleman who's sending the emails?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm really glad to hear that, and I hope that other people, the people that are going to listen are the people that are the people that are already against it anyway, mostly. I don't think they're going to change anybody's mind with this.
The Chamber of Commerce.
The network.
Mm-hmm.
The network.
Yep.
Okay.
I've been here 9 years, and I ain't leaving, so they just will get used to me.
Oh, yeah. I remember when I was doing some signature gathering a couple months ago, this older gentleman came out of the market, and, I asked him if he wanted to sign this thing, and he said, I wish all you liberals would just go home. I said, well, we're home, baby. It ain't going to change.
You hadn't done a roll call count in our state government recently, I suppose?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I have never been called a liberal in my life.
Well, I just look like one. People assume that I am. So, but they got something to learn.
Being a little liberal, but mostly, I guess, I'm probably libertarian, if anything.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's us, too. We're much more about our rights and following the Constitution. That's what I believe in. So they can call it whatever they want.
That's kind of like that line from that Terry Sweeney song, I love my fellow man as long as he ain't trying to screw me.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. So,
hey, y'all are having a good show.
All right, dear. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye. Hello, you're on the air.
I wanted to talk about a hidden menace in our local wine, and that's fluoride.
Really?
For
Are
decades,
they using fluoride in the wine?
For decades, Lake County wine and Napa and Sonoma wine was exported to Europe, and millions of dollars was made. But now the EU says we don't want any more of your wine because it's 100 times the amount that's acceptable for fluoride.
You've got to be kidding.
When you take a look, you'll be horrified. All the local Lake County wine, even the so-called organic wines, are so loaded with fluoride that I consider them hazardous and unsafe to drink.
Oh, my
fluoride
goodness.
penetrates the blood-brain barrier in the brain, and it causes major, major brain damage. And the local growers,
well,
Napa,
what it does to
not
your
just
pineal
Lake,
gland,
but Napa and Sonoma as well, they're dumping all these chlorofluoride fertilizers and pesticides, and it's leaching into the grapes. And even if you test, and I'm not going to name names, but even if you test the so-called organic wines, the levels are 100 times the EU standard for fluoride. And that's why the EU says, we can't buy it, we don't want to buy it, keep it.
Oh, my God, that's horrendous. I can't even imagine
The more you investigate this, the more you're going to realize that this is probably the biggest health crisis.
Whoa. Yeah, I know
it is
how damaging
huge.
fluoride is. We've stopped using it in our toothpaste.
I just don't understand why the local wine growers, they know this, they know they're losing millions of dollars of business to the EU, and they still do it.
Right.
You know, what kind of collusion's going on between all the grape growers where they've just gotten together secretly and says, We know it's bad, but we're just going to still keep doing it. And maybe if we damage people's brains, they'll buy more of our wine.
What does it do? What does it do to the actual product? I mean, why do they use it?
Yeah, what's the importance of it?
Fluoride is an ingredient that's found in these substances that they spray, and there's plenty of substitutes for them, and it's cheaper to use the fluoride-based product. So it's all about money. They're saving a little bit of money while they're destroying our brains.
Oh, my goodness.
It's all about dollars and cents.
Gotcha.
That's just horrendous.
And also the thing is, if you look at the regulation within the industry, there's a lot of cronyism and a lot of, palms being greased, a lot of payoffs. So it's going to stay that way because, the grape growers, they don't want to have to spend more money. And so therefore the people that regulate it, they're not about to try to change things because it would cost everybody more money.
Wow.
So the people that are in the position to change the law are getting so many kickbacks and payoffs under the table that it behooves them to just keep the law that way. The more you investigate this, the more disgusted you're going to be.
That is disgusting.
I would recommend anyone that drinks Lake County wine to stop immediately and switch to Red Tail Ale made in Mendocino.
Oh, really? They don't use it.
Well, that's beer.
Yeah, actually, I'm partial. I drink the wines from Australia.
Or drink, just don't drink the local stuff, and it's a shame that I have to say that.
It is, man.
And it's
Scary
all about
stuff.
greed and money.
And the Nazis used fluoride for years in the concentration camps to keep their people sedated, and it causes apathy, and it causes you not to care.
That explains it.
Right. Well, maybe they don't want people to care.
Well, they don't, obviously, because then they'll drink more wine.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the plot.
So everybody, just every case of Lake County wine you have, pop the corks and flush it all down the toilet now.
So sad.
And I'm going to take my answer off the air because I don't want to use my real name because I'm in fear of being assassinated right now. Good day.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Wow. Hello, you're on the air. I guess you're not.
Ow. Call back, please.
Sorry about that. So, yeah, that's a pretty shocking disclosure.
Can you turn my microphone up a bit? I can't hear myself.
Okay. Can you hear yourself now?
1, 2, 3. Much better, thank you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear me now.
Can you hear you now?
Yes.
Hello, you're on the air.
Me again. I promise it's the last.
Triple dipping.
That was on Coast to Coast with George Norrie about fluoride taking willpower away, and that's probably how they got so far so long in this county.
Exactly. Well, that could be why they get away with everything here, because everybody's in fluoride land and just la 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 la.
That explains a lot to me.
It sure
And
does.
how much money every year in taxes they get from that industry from the beginning? They should be sued with a class act suit with deterrence measures.
Yeah, it's kind of concerning because you think about how so many people support the wine industry, and they're obviously partaking, and so they're getting the fluoride, which, by the way, folks, if you don't know, fluoride actually crystallizes your pineal gland, which is the part of your brain that controls a lot of different functions that we need. And when you consume fluoride, it creates some kind of a hard crystal shell around that gland, so it's impossible for it to work correctly.
That's the most important thing, the pineal gland, the spiritual eye. Well, how
Yeah,
important
that's your third eye. Exactly. And
Fire investment on them.
Yeah. Thank you. Hello, you're on the air.
Oh, that's your third eye, huh?
Yes, that's where your third eye is located.
Everybody told me you always sit on your third eye.
I think that's a different one.
Well, anyway, they've been poisoning us in Lake County for 70 years, you know?
Just
with
so
the
sad.
DDT and all this stuff. My grandfather died of stomach cancer, and I was wondering, a lot of these old-timers that worked in these pear orchards and walnut orchards and all that stuff they sprayed in there, a lot of these people died of cancer.
That's right.
We should be trying to class action suit all these
I think so. I think that anybody who's been affected by these chemicals should absolutely file some kind of a class action, because the agricultural chemicals have been proven to be toxic to humans and animals and plants, and so it's just really important that they fight back against
And I was thinking maybe the Board of Supervisors been drinking this wine for the last few
Well,
years.
there you go.
Oh, really? Going down that road, are we?
I think we already went there, but he's doing a lot more bluntly.
Well, I want to share with you, too, that we have another acting chair.
Really?
The employees got a memo saying that Tracy can no longer, do her job. So they're going to...
because of her illness, right?
I guess. And so they're putting this guy, her kissing cousin, Nick Medina. They're putting him in there, and man, this guy's he's just as worse or even worse.
Oh, geez, I'm so sorry to hear
So he's
that.
the acting chair, I guess, now. I don't know.
Can I ask you a question, please? May I?
Yeah.
Thank you. And I apologize for interrupting you, but I've been thinking about this the last few weeks, hearing your calls and everything else that's going on. And it's obvious that use the word, the white man government doesn't care about what's going on. It appears the courts don't care what's going on. Yet you care, your people care. Why? What would it take, and I'm saying this tongue-in-cheek, for an uprising to occur, and you just take control and kick all these people out? What physical control do they really have where you can't just go in there and say, guess what, folks, this is an old uprising. You're getting the blankety-blank out of here now.
The only thing that's stopping us from doing that is I got to have soldiers. And everybody on the res is too scared to do anything.
Is that what it is, intimidation?
Oh.
Sounds like everyone else in Loudoun County.
Oh,
and
that's
so
so
if I had
sad.
about 100 soldiers and went in there, and it could be women or men, and we did that, I think it worked.
Okay. So
yeah, I
we need
think
to start
so too.
recruiting,
But
don't we?
don't we have people now that the Robinson thing has pretty much been settled, except for Doug's case now? Everybody's gotten off, thank goodness. The DA and the judge and everybody had decided to see the light and see what foolishness it was. So can't we build from that, because that was a victory?
Well, you know what's going to happen now? I had Kenny on Saturday on my program, and he was sharing with us that there's going to be a lot of court cases.
Well, that's it. He owes me a freaking phone call. I've been waiting for the last week and a half to hear from him.
Oh, okay.
If you're listening, Kenny.
I'll give you his phone number if you like.
Yeah, he gave it to me. I just haven't had a chance to call him. I thought we had, talked about getting together last week, but it didn't happen. So.
He just went up to the the Crow Fair powwow, and he said they had 113 teepees.
113 teepees? Oh my God.
113 teepees at the powwow.
That's amazing. That's wonderful.
So, but
power of the people, man.
Yeah. And you guys keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And I'm really, really glad. Again, I keep on saying this. I'm really glad a lot of you new people are in town, because you guys are helping us.
Hey, we're going to help you build that army,
Newbies.
sweetheart. Don't worry.
All right.
Listen, also, I got John Trudell coming up next. We're going to take a break and listen to some of his interview and and get that out there right now. Okay? Because he actually talks about Robinson in that.
Oh, wow.
Yes. It's awesome.
All right. Well,
okay,
you know what? I'd love to play ball with maybe next year I'll try out.
You know something? We need a couple
I wish
more
you
players.
would. You would be so good on the team.
We can go down to Santa Rosa every Sunday together, save the cost.
Carpool, yeah. That'd be great.
Think about that. That'd be fun.
Please do. We'd love to have you join us.
And unfortunately, you're old enough to play.
All right, we want to let everybody know that they're listening to KPFZ 88.1 FM in Lakeport, Lake County, and all around the lake. And this is Terry and Pete with Lake County Magazine. We got one more call on hold, and I'm asking everybody to hold the calls then so we could do the Trudell interview.
Okie dokie.
Hello, you're on the air.
Oh, yeah, great. I was waiting for that Trudell interview.
Oh, hey, John. How you doing?
Hey, I just wanted to add that, about the wine industry, I think we need to do more programs on them, because I was a little shocked. I heard one of our programmers, I think Tara.
I heard that the other day.
And she more or less said the wine industry owns everything already, and including our station.
Yeah. It was pretty strange.
Yeah, and I would challenge that, because I know there's a lot of issues, and I'm glad the guy brought that up about the fluoride, because those are issues that have always been around and just thrown to the side until finally more people are waking up to the real issues on this lake. And a good example, you watch the next Board of Supervisors. I bet you, I don't know how many people are running for District 3 already, but I heard like 5 or 6.
5, yeah.
Like that, yeah.
Well, I'll bet you, how many are from the wine industry?
One, well, I don't think anybody's directly from the wine industry, but there's one wine-friendly guy on the
Okay.
on the list.
So again, see, just by that alone is going to bring in that new age, which Tara was talking about, which, you know, this is ground zero for wine country. Now, if that fluoride issue comes up, you know, it's going to really be important. I don't know if anyone heard Will Parrish's interview on Conrad show.
I missed that.
Yeah, it was great because
I love
he shows
Will.
how the wine industry comes in.
I did hear that. You're right. I heard that.
Yeah, it was really, we need to follow it and listen
that
to
was
it because
so good.
Otherwise that's going to happen. And I'll just like to end with this because we'd like to hear John Trudell too. But here's a quote from a Indian law, the first law book written on Indians, and it's by a guy named Felix S. Cohen. He says, like the miner's canary, the Indian marks the shift from fresh air to poison gas in our political atmosphere, and our treatment of the Indians, even more than our treatment of other minorities, reflects the rise and fall of our democratic faith. And that's basically now what I say is, all you white people are the new Indians. You know, now the government can tell you don't go off the reservation.
Yeah.
Because since 9/11, all your rights, the Patriot Act 1 and 2, National Defense Authorization Act is intact, and we are living in a police state.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, and that's why we love...
Help each other survive.
Thank you for so much for that, because we love what you and your wife do and how you get the word out, and if we all stick together, maybe we can make a little difference in our own backyard.
Yeah, because I'd like to do maybe an interview with you on our issue here, because, again, it goes back to Tracy, who was I was the... director, tribal administrator during the time Tracy was there.
And it's just such a travesty what's going on.
Yeah, and they just now subpoenaed me after all this time.
Really?
And
See?
we're still getting, of course, postponed. All right, thanks.
Thanks,
Thank
Jim.
you.
Take care.
Bye.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hello, I just wanted to bring one thing up. I see a lot of people talk about the Constitution and today's 9/11 and how, constitutional rights have been trampled on, and the gentleman talks about, well, so why don't you have a good old-fashioned uprising?
Yeah,
And,
exactly. Hey, what's wrong with revolution? It worked before.
I want to make a point here. You said that you follow the Constitution, and everybody follows the Constitution. Nobody's saying that the government's trying to override our constitutional rights and build FEMA camps and all this stuff, which they are. But states very clearly in Article 1, power forbidden to the Congress, that the writ habeas corpus, due process for the illiterate out there, shall not be suspended unless, in case of rebellion, invasion, or that the public safety may require it. So it states very clearly in our Constitution that they will suspend all our rights if they feel they need to.
Oh, absolutely. They've always had that power. We're just their chattel anyway. I mean, anybody that follows the Federal Reserve and everything else will know we mean nothing to them.
I just, when I get these Alex Jones gun-waving patriots, telling me to love it or leave it and throwing their guns in my face, sometimes I feel like snipping off my plums and hanging them on my Chomsky readers.
Oh, God. Well, thank you for sharing that. That was awesome. Thanks a lot. We're going to move on to our interview with John Trudell. We got a little underwriting obligation that we need to take care of first. So we will be back in about 15 minutes. It's about like a 10 or 12. Did you have something you wanted to
comment.
say? Okay.
When I was talking about the uprising, I was talking about the Robinson Rancheria, not the United States government.
Okay, so you're not advocating the overthrow of the U.S. government?
No, not at all.
Okay,
I want
let's
to clarify
make that.
that.
Perfectly clear.
Yeah, I'm just saying that the people that live in Rancheria, Robinson, they need to do something because no one else is helping
They
them.
need to take their homes back.
Exactly.
But
I was not advocating.
But it's not that easy, as Clayton said.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of people are afraid. So we need to help them build that strength.
Yeah.
That's what we do with video. We could be there to witness. If you all decide to do action, we can be there to witness. I mean, that's our role in the whole thing. Okay, folks, so we're going to take a quick break. We're going to hear from one of our underwriters, and then we're going to go straight into our interview with John Trudell at the Solar Living Institute.
It's about 5 minutes long, I think.
No, it's like 10.
Is it that long?
Yeah, 13 minutes, something like that. But it was all very interesting, so I do recommend everybody hanging in.
Probably more interesting to listen to us rambling on. So
Exactly.
what the hell.
I know you don't want to hear more about the goats. Okay, we'll be right back.
Oh, so cute.
This is Lake County Magazine with Terry and Pete.
Hit the start button.
It's a double start. It always gets me. All right, we'll be back.
The Anderson Mars Interpretive Association presents a concert of bluegrass music at the Soper Reese Theater in Lakeport, Saturday, September 14th. The show features Pat Ikes and Bound to Ride, the Anderson Family Bluegrass Band, Rafael Contreras, and the Johnson Family Band. Show starts at 7, doors open at 6:30, and wines will be available by Thornhill Vineyards. All proceeds go to support Anderson Mars State Historic Park. Hope to see you there.
Hey, hi, I'm here with John Trudell, who just gave a very meaningful and moving talk to the people here at the Solar Living Institute and Soulfest. That was very impactful.
Well, I'm glad it made sense. That's the objective, right?
Well, here's what I liked. The part that said, you can't believe and think at the same time. Can you expand on that a little bit about thinking and believing and the difference between them?
Well, everything is about energy. Everything. When we think, we project electromagnetic thoughts. So when we think, we're sending this energy, electromagnetic energy, all right, off into the universe. Thinking represents energy flow. When we believe, then we're taking that flow of electromagnetic energy and putting it in a container, because all beliefs have their biases, their prejudices, and their limitations. So we're taking the energy of thinking and putting it into this container, right? But because it has nowhere to go.
It locks it up.
It's locked in this container and it has nowhere to go. But because it's energy, it has to intensify because it's energy. Right? See, so it has nowhere to go, flow naturally. So what ends up happening is it comes out through our emotional eruptions and our emotional insecurities and our emotional beating ourselves up. That's right. It comes out through our emotional, all right, I'd almost say self-abuse. Right? So that, because it's energy. So the deal is either we think or we believe, because it's one energy, electromagnetic energy. We either use it to let it flow or we take it and put it in the container.
So when we let it flow, and that's through thinking, it then guides us to new and other areas that we never may have been before, which should be a good thing. Right?
I guess guide is a word. I just know it gives us the opportunity, all right, to expand. Our energy is now starting to expand, whatever we're dealing with in this reality, obviously, whatever we believe isn't solving it.
That's true.
So I think we need to think our way through what we believed our way into. And the only way we're going to come with any coherent solutions is with coherent thinking. Because the thing to remember about, because beliefs, when we operate from the energy paradigm, I guess, or system that's based upon believing, see, then we never really think. And the energies of the emotional energies of believing distort our clarity. So whenever we have an emotional reaction, it's a distorted reaction that we're not thinking clearly. So we're just adding to the confusion of the problem.
So do you see belief systems like religions and training that our families give us, and all those kind of little pigeonholes that we get in our lives? So we need to just get rid of all of that and free up our spirits.
Well, we need to think our way through it. We need to recognize, like thinking and believing. Well, the other thing is there's a difference between dealing with energy. There's a difference between recognizing reality and judging reality. when we recognize it with clear, coherent thinking, and we respect our intelligence and use it to think, all right, and seek recognition, all right, then we will be able to see things more. But when we judge reality, all right, it's like believing. It's a container. It's a little prison for the energy. And then to judge means it's got its biases, it's whatever, right? And then so then we perpetuate our own problem because we're judging.
Yeah, I love what you said about judging.
And
that is a big problem.
And when you have a problem, whatever the problem may be, everything's about energy. So whatever the problem may be, the energy we take to creating a solution for that problem, that energy is going to be in the solution. Now, so if we're using the energy system, the energy through the belief system, well, everybody has low self-esteem and they're fearful and they're angry and they're this and that. So that's the energy that's going to be taken into creating a solution. Therefore, there's no solution.
Right. Oh, so that's why we keep failing.
If we clear think our way into it with clarity and coherency, then we'll be bringing that kind of energy into the solution.
Right.
And so it's all about energy and understanding, and having understanding the value of our intelligence. It's about respect of self. You know, I mean, cut through this stuff. Too many people use pride to hide the fact that they don't respect or like themselves. You know, so we need to think, to recognize whatever reasons that we don't like or don't respect ourselves. We need to think, what is the source? What caused that? Is it something I thought up about me, or is it something somebody told me repeatedly until I believed it? So it's about, it's almost like recognizing ourselves as human beings.
Sure.
It's like, you know.
And distinguishing between what has been put there through a belief system and what is coming naturally out of you as part of yourself.
As a part of our authenticity, part of our authenticity. So we need, so a quick thing was, you know, this whole idea of I'm only human, if we operate on that premise, then we're never going to solve it. We're going to always have low self-esteem. We're just going to always be in a mess because we're human beings.
Right.
And when we enter into this, use our creative intelligence and all this, identifying only as a human, see, then we're ignoring the whole energy source. We're ignoring our whole spiritual relationship to reality. It's in the being. So if somebody says I'm only human, they're ignoring, no matter what their rhetoric is, right? They're ignoring their connection to spiritual reality because they're not recognizing the being. So no matter how much we want to have a spiritual connection, if we're operating on the premise of only human, but all these are things that are part of the civilizing process imprints us with these distorted perceptions of reality to keep us from thinking.
Well, we talked a little bit off camera about the situation at the Robinson Rancheria, just to kind of localize the conversation a little. I'd like to get your take on this whole disenrollment, eviction thing that seems to be happening on many of the rancherias here in California. People being actually thrown out of their tribal family, really. And it can happen from, you know, the grandmother being thrown out and the child being allowed to stay. It's just very arbitrary, it seems to be. And it's destroying families throughout Northern California. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Well, it's wrong. Plain and simply put, it's wrong. You're living in a colonized system where now the so-called white man, the government, all right, they're doing the job of the so-called white man.
The white man, yeah,
they're doing it to themselves. I mean, well, one group is doing it, but they're doing it to the family, so to speak, the family of the tribe.
Sure.
And it doesn't make any sense.
No.
You know, it has no. It has no connection to the cultural reality of who we are as a people when you deal in realistic terms. To turn on one another and abandon one another over something as material as money, all right, or personal dislikes, all right, it says that the original human being is no longer recognizing itself in that situation.
You really are turning their back on their own culture, because that goes against the way that people have thought for, like, it's all about nurturing, right?
They're turning their back on, I mean, in a way they're turning their back on themselves.
Sure they are.
Right, you know, so, but it is, you know, and how it gets dealt with, I don't have the answer to that, because I'm not from that area. I got no say, I have no influence, I have no...
Right. And I'm sure they appreciate hearing from you out in the field out there. So, just in closing then, would you like to share anything with your with our audience regarding, are you going to be doing anything up any other things planned in the future?
Well, I don't know what I got planned.
From day to day,
From day to day, it's a month to month pay the rent struggle type thing. But no, I'm working on this hemp project about.
Yeah, let's
called Hempstead Project Park, right? And the whole deal behind that is about trying to raise awareness around the identity of hemp as hemp, not medical marijuana,
right?
But hemp as hemp.
Man, you're right up my alley with that one.
Because the value of hemp, I mean,
food, fuel,
I mean the cyber, all those things. But the other thing that money talks, all right? And people listen to money more than they're going to listen to me talking about, well, it gives you food and this and that. I mean, we're dealing with reality. But so to understand that the economics of industrial hemp, for all these reasons, food, fiber, all of that, the economics of industrial hemp dwarf, all right, the economics of recreational medicinal marijuana.
Absolutely, and it could save the world. I mean, what could we replace? Plastic.
So anyway, we're attempting. So our whole deal is to get people to think about hemp in the terms of industrial hemp as hemp,
nice.
Right? And with the emphasis being towards the hemp aspects, right? Because and to me, I kind of toss this out to the medical marijuana people. I mean, I'm one of them, but I kind of toss this all out there into that. We've talked about we want medical marijuana for our health and our stuff, and I think it's time for us to get over ourselves and let's go after hemp because that's earth medicine.
Absolutely.
And if we're going to just take a piece for ourselves, all right, and we're not going to look out for the earth, then what's that all about?
Good point.
It's not reality to me. So anyway, and we look at and hemp would help us to address economic realities. Sure. It would help us to address environmental realities.
Absolutely.
It would save the family farm, right? It would create jobs, and it's non-toxic to the environment. It doesn't need pesticides or any of that. So anyway, our objective is to create a dialogue around industrial hemp.
Well, I will help with that whenever possible because that's a major issue for me, a mission to help see that. And since I moved to Northern California, I've tried to get the growers to let's set up a central location where you can take the stems and stalks and everything from your plants and dump them and we turn them into fuel, or we make clothing, or we make food or something, instead of just sending it to the landfill, burying it, or burning it.
Well, and
our industry here is so huge.
Another thing for the growers that I think, because I know there's a significant number of growers that are against industrial hemp.
Yes.
All right, and I think that they're wrong.
I agree.
I think these people are wrong.
Well, a lot of them are afraid the male plants are going to contaminate.
I understand why they're afraid of it.
But guess what I found out? You harvest hemp before it goes to seed.
You don't plant them together.
Yeah, and you don't plant them together.
You don't plant them together, Yeah. And this whole thing.
There's ways to avoid that.
So the growers that are against hemp, I just consider them to be more pharmaceutical. They're of the pharmaceutical exploitive mentality. That's my opinion about it. They just want to take advantage, and they're not concerned about health and well-being or any of that. If they would turn their back on the hemp, right? Because you can have both. So you just don't grow them all in the same field.
It's like I say, you harvest it before it goes to flower anyway, so you don't have a problem.
But those the medical marijuana, the growers that are against industrial hemp, I'm tired of the George Bush mentality. Either you're against us or you're the enemy.
Yeah, exactly.
Either you're for us or you're the enemy. We don't need that stuff.
They're very cool.
Anyway,
very
that's
cool.
my attitude.
Well, I love it.
Today.
I'm right. It changes every day.
No, that's
how you are. But you're making 100% great points, and it is something that people need to wake up and realize that this is the future for our world, really. I mean, it's a sustainable plant. It fixes the soil. You don't have to pesticide it. It's perfect. It's the perfect plant.
Earth medicine.
Earth medicine. There you go. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
Oh, yeah.
Always a pleasure.
Very good.
All right, guys.
Woohoo! That was John Trudell being his Trudell self. To thine own self be Trudell.
Okay.
I love that man.
He's a
it's
good
just
guy.
Talking to him is like opening a door. When we were talking before about the pineal gland, it's like opening that door in your mind that you never get to open, and you get to see inside his head, and you see how much further he is above us in his perspectives of what's happening in the cosmos. It's lovely.
Yep. He's a good guy, and he is actually a good guy.
He is.
I mean,
he
he's
is.
not one of these. Yeah, I'm. Yeah, no, he's a good guy.
Yeah. So that was a real thrill for us at the Solar Living Institute last month to be able to sit down and chat with him. Another day we'll play his speech, which I thought his speech was really good.
I think we should do that maybe over 2 or 3
it's
shows.
like, yeah, we could do it in 2 parts because it's like 30 minutes long.
Right.
So.
All right. So unless we have somebody wanting to talk about something.
Yes,
let's
we're ready
talk
to get another subject out because there's a lot of stuff.
I
we
want to talk
still need
about Canocti.
Okay, go ahead. I really want to get into the city of Clear Lake, but go ahead.
Well, we have talked
Do
about that in the
first.
past, but as most people probably know, and if you don't know, the Canocti Resort has allegedly been sold to Resort Equities LLC, which is basically a development company for timeshares. I normally don't post on Facebook except to say hi, how are you? And that's even a lot for me. But when everyone started ranting and raving about, oh my God,
They were all celebrating.
Lake
Whoop,
County has been saved. We have the almighty Canocti Resort going back into business.
Yep. People were doing happy
And-
dances on Facebook.
Yeah. And I kind of like, dude, it's great. I mean, I'm all for it. But, they just signed a contract. They just went into escrow. They have a due diligence period through December 31st, and that can be extended. They have to get a lot of permitting.
That's the guys running for District 3.
Yes, all that. They have a lot of permitting to do, which, according to Mr. Coel, is going to be fast track. So I guess people with money get privileges over everyone else. Yes, I did just say that. Sorry. But my point is, I hope it goes through. It will be a benefit in some way to Lake County. But there's a lot of things that are going to have to happen first. And if the sale does go through, and all the permitting goes through without a hitch, they have at least 2 years, and this is my interpretation, I don't know for a fact, of construction and improvements they have to get done. And they are converting it into a timeshare with some hotel space available, I understand. They're going to be improving the marina there and the docks. They're going to be improving the restaurants. Hopefully they're going to keep the concert setting going too. It'll bring in some entertainment. So I think it's a great thing, but it's not something we're going to have an immediate impact on. The only jobs that are going to come available most likely are going to be construction jobs, which obviously there's nothing wrong with that. But it's going to be a while before any real employment opportunities, I think, become available. And it's going to be just a long, drawn-out process. And I think besides the job opportunities, I'm kind of curious to see if they have any projections or they have some forecasts available, because I'm really kind of see what type of revenue base they think they're going to generate here and what type of revenue. Because timeshares will not generate a lot of money for the county. The hotel rooms, if there's a hotel tax here, will generate some income. We'll have some sales tax obviously coming in through food and beverage and dock fees possibly. But if it's going to be a majority timeshare, it's like a cruise ship going into an island. It's great to have it there, but they only dock for 3 hours. You spend a couple bucks in some restaurants for food and beverages, you do a couple of tours, then you get right back on the boat and you go away. It's not long-term
Yeah, that's what worries
emphasis.
me.
And I'm thinking with timeshares, it's the same thing. Because
Well, they're supposed to have half hotel, half timeshare.
I'm just saying, I like to see what the other people think about it because I'm just curious to see what type of revenue base this really may generate.
Up and try again.
Okay.
Okay, we'll try again.
Gone. All right, hello, you're on the air.
Hi.
Hey, Cheryl.
Ready?
What's up? You're breaking up. Hello, hello. La 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 la.
Cell towers are down.
See you later.
Yeah, call me back. Bye.
Okay. So anyway, I'd just like to hear what everyone else thinks. I'd be curious to see if anyone out there within the county is listening, like to make maybe some comment on what their understanding is of the development and the timetable involved. So, and how many job opportunities are actually going to be created here? Not just the entry-level positions, but are they going to open up some mid-level management jobs? Are they going to advertise for local management to step in and help out the area? So, just curious. That's all. Just thinking from a typical accountant's point of view.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So, But don't get me wrong, folks. I'm all for it. I'm glad it's happening. I mean, hopefully they open up the amphitheater and they get some good groups coming back in. We can all rock and roll and get down. So someone's listening to me.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I hit some nerves.
Yeah, you got it going. You got them going now. Hello, you're on the air.
I think once or twice in my life I've been to a timeshare when I knew somebody who couldn't use their weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And pretty much universally, the clientele of timeshares are the kind of people who will stop by Kmart or Walmart once, be terrified and never come back.
Yeah, exactly. It's so true because we've been timeshare people, and I can tell you that's just what we do. We load up our fridge and we stay in our apartment and on the grounds, and we don't leave because it's so nice.
All right, but what I mean is I think as a timeshare it'll flop because when you look at, where are all the timeshares? They're all like in Hawaii, on the coast of Mexico.
Oh, well, we have one of the best in the world right here. Worldmark Trend West Resort is right in Nice, and they have timeshares all around the world. They're part of the Wyndham Group. Right. And that's huge. So somebody's taking it serious because they seem to do okay over there as a destination.
Yeah,
but I just wonder, I don't know. It doesn't seem like we figured out how to deal with the sign-up area.
Well, I agree. I don't think it's going to succeed in that respect because people are not going to be able to come here to deal with the lake other than, maybe sailing or something if they educate the people properly. But, a lot of these places do not say anything to tourists about cyanobacteria or what the ramifications of swimming in it and inhaling it might be.
Well, it's more than just that, though. What other amenities are available? Do we have a championship 18-hole golf course that they can go to? I mean, what other facilities or amenities do we have here in Lake County that would attract people to come to the timeshare? That's the question.
Yeah. Well, that is the question. I agree.
And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm really not. I'm just trying to understand if it's going to be a timeshare, how is it going to be successful when you don't have world-class amenities available?
Well, they can go play at Tatankaland.
More power to them. That's a great little golf course.
I love it.
Maybe they need to hook up with the Riviera Country Club and connect there.
Yeah, something like that. They have to offer more amenities and an infrastructure that's going to support tourism better. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought when it was no longer functioning, it seemed like the perfect opportunity for a California county to really just start walking the talk about having drug alcohol rehab on demand.
Mm-hmm.
That facility is so large and has so much housing that it would almost be sufficient for this county if it was used just for that purpose.
Wow, yeah, you got to have a lot of bucks to be setting that up, though. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't see that happening as a reality, but it sure would have been nice if they could have figured out how to do that.
Yeah, they never eminent domain the right thing.
Yeah, that would have been good, huh? Well, I would have encouraged that before they went into escrow. Thank you. Hello, you're on the air. Anyone home? Nobody home? Okay, before we move on, I want to mention that Sunday, September 29th, yay, 3 p.m., join us for a seafood barbecue dinner. Oh, we're going to be there. And music event for your listening pleasure and dancing pleasure without a net, baby.
Ooh.
They're going to be playing music from 3 to 7 p.m., seafood barbecue dinner at 4 p.m., and it's a no-host bar, and it's a great low cover cost, so you can go and have some great food, great music, and support KPFC.
And it is very inexpensive.
Yes, support your community and community radio.
Barbecue seafood.
Yeah.
I expect lobster tails, abalone.
Oh, they better.
Shrimp. I don't want any bass out of the lake, though, folks.
Yeah, please. Let's hope it's off the coast, not off the lake. But then again, we got radiation off the coast. So
we haven't stated about our opinions.
No,
yet.
I was actually thinking about that just this second, too.
It's getting late on that one.
So we want to please remind everybody that the opinions expressed on this or any other KPFC program are the opinions of the speaker and do not necessarily represent the views or opinions of KPFC LCCR and its member staff or supporters. These are the opinions and views of the speakers only.
And before I forget, which seems to be a common occurrence these days.
Yeah.
According to you, anyway.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, the only person who doesn't smoke weed who has short-term memory loss. Yes. Yes.
Secondhand smoke.
You want to blame it on that? Try it.
This is September 11th, which obviously there's another connotation to that. But
yes, and we do want to send out all of our energies and best wishes and condolences.
I've been trying to avoid the subject, actually.
Anyone who was victimized by 9/11.
But October 1st starts the date that people can actually start registering under Obamacare, under your state health plans. And I'm going to start, and I know this is boring to a lot of you folks, but it's something you guys need to know about and understand.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to start over the next few weeks, a little bit at a time, so you guys don't turn me off and say, God, this guy's really boring the hell out of me. I'm going to start addressing Obamacare for both individuals who are employed, who are offered health insurance, to those who aren't, and to those who are business owners, because it is more complicated than even the IRS understands right now. And I get news releases on a weekly basis saying, oh, by the way, once Obamacare kicks in, this is the do's and the don'ts and all that good stuff. And I'll give you a quick example because someone's calling in, both lines, is that under Obamacare, health savings accounts were basically going to go away, but now they're not. And now you're actually allowed non-deductibles for preventive maintenance care. And I won't bore you, but it's really changed. Every week it's changing.
Okay, so let's do a show on that in the near future.
Over the next few weeks, I'm going to do that.
Hello, you're on the air.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Hey, you were talking about Canocti Harbor a minute ago.
Yes.
And I think it's kind of important to remember that the proposal they have on the table right now calls for an increase in the motel rooms of about 100 rooms. So
Correct.
that's about a 50% increase in capacity there, or a little less. But anyway, so that's a pretty significant increase there. So I'm not too worried about the thing just being turned into a complete timeshare deal. The timeshare units, I believe, are all going to be new construction. I could be wrong about that, but I think
that would be smart.
Yeah, I thought they were. You're probably right, Phil, because you're always a lot more astute than I am at times. But I thought they were going to convert some of the rooms into timeshare plus build some. But you may be right.
Yeah, it could be a combo. But here's the deal: they've got I guess there's 5 parcels there total, and a fair amount of it is undeveloped. Like they own that walnut orchard across the street.
True,
right?
Yeah.
So I think it was pretty much a given that any proposal that went through for a new sale of the resort would include some sort of new development on those parcels that hadn't been developed yet. So as far as generating jobs goes, if they can come through and build all those extra new rooms, then I would assume that there's going to be some jobs related to that. And before they packed up, they had 600 employees there.
Cool.
Yeah, they were the biggest private employer in the county.
Well, my concern, I'll use that word, is that it's not just the I'll use the word entry level jobs of wait staff and concierge and whatever, but will they employ local people for entry-level management jobs, mid-level jobs, and even possibly higher management jobs?
Well, that's a good question. It depends if they, try to do it kind of in-house here and then, rehire people that had done it before or recruit locally, or they could just sub it out to a management operation.
And they do that a lot. That's very true.
Yeah,
You're
because
right.
that's generally the simplest way to go. But on the other hand, like I say, they did have an existing staff structure, and they might be able to rehire people, and who knows?
It's a long-term project once it closes anyway. So
right, but I think the thing that people really need to kind of remember is that in the county, in other words, in the unincorporated parts of the county, outside of the 2 big cities, there really isn't a lot of places that were generating TOT revenue. There's just not a lot of big motels that are outside of the 2 cities.
True.
And when Canocti Harbor went away, so did at least 2/3 of our TOT revenue.
Right.
And that TOT revenue was 100% of the funding for all of the lake-related projects, whether it was cutting weeds or killing hydrilla or qualifying for our state permits and all that stuff.
Right. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, though. If a majority or half of this place is going to be timeshare, the TOT would not come into play.
Well, no, you're only talking about, I think it was 160-something units of timeshare.
Mm-hmm.
And around 340 or something.
Oh, is it that many? Okay.
Yeah, of motel rooms. So it's tipped majorly in favor of the motel end of it. And you know, there's going to be some spillover effect from the timeshares because those people will be spending some money locally. But that's just, you know, that's kind of a bonus on top of the motel thing. It's not taking away from that, I don't think.
Okay.
But anyway, you know, it kind of makes you wonder why they're going ahead with this new tax measure, the son of Measure E, as it's being called. Because you know, a lot of the premise for it seems to, at least potentially, be taken away.
Right.
Now that it looks like we're going to get a steady funding source back for the lake, and it's not as much money as they wanted to get out of Measure E. That was like $2.4 million a year, and you know, we're talking about maybe $600,000 that'll come directly from Konocti, and I would think there'd be another maybe $100,000 or $200,000 in spillover effect total. So.
Well, we're happy it's happening, but I've seen it go into escrow, I think, 4 times in the last 3 years, so I'm just kind of naturally cynical about it. And when it closes, that's when I'll celebrate.
Yeah, I kind of got the same feeling that there's a lot of stuff still hanging out there, because this outfit, you know, even though they're well connected and they've been involved in some big deals, they haven't done anything on this scale themselves.
Yeah.
And, you know, whether or not they can scrape together the $50 to $70 million they're talking about to do this entire project, that remains to be seen. But
big challenge, yeah.
I wish them the best of luck with it, because, you know, the economy around here really needs.
Yeah, we need it.
You know what's interesting is, remember, they have a privacy agreement where they did not disclose the terms of the sale.
Interesting.
So I'm just curious, I wonder, maybe this is almost, and I'm just ad-libbing, folks, this is nothing out there, it's just my interpretation.
Conjecture.
Just wondering if it's possible some type of joint venture agreement with the union, and the union doesn't want his name involved, so they're doing a sale, and the union could be financing it.
Yeah, that's possible, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought the deal was the union had to sell the place, you know, had to completely sell out their interest in it in order to restock their pension fund.
And to satisfy the IRS, too.
Right.
Yeah. But who knows what's really going on?
Well, we won't really know until December when the escrow closes, and then it'll be public what the sale price was. I was guessing that it would be somewhere in the like $12 to $15 million range for the place.
Yeah, but, that's the numbers I've seen going around. So
anyway, we'll just have to wait and see.
Okay, thanks so much.
Bye.
Hello, you're on the air.
Can you hear me? This is Cheryl.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Oh, good. I wanted to talk about the fluoride issue in the wine.
Yes. ma'am.
And that article, I believe that I was reading, also read on Dr. West's show by Julie Sunshine, which brought, you know, to my attention. And it's actually all of California wine. You just need to get your wine over the state line, and they're not using the fluoride, I guess.
That just doesn't make sense when California's supposed to be so health conscious, and they're sitting there poisoning people.
But never buy anything from China, because they irrigate highly toxic water. So it's no dollar store stuff.
Yeah.
It's all, I've walked around the dollar store after I learned that, and it's all China stuff.
Yep, absolutely. That's where the dollar store stuff comes from. That's why it's only $1.
I had wanted to do something about that wine issue, at least go speak to all the wineries, and then stand in front of grocery stores with maybe half sheets of information just to start. And so if that fellow wants to do that, I'll stand in front of stores. I don't mind. And, you know, maybe 10 people can spread the word.
Well, we should do a story about it in the magazine, so
I want to do a little bit more
research.
research.
Anyway,
why don't you help us out with that?
I'd be happy to, but I wanted to get that guy on board. He seems, he's not going to get assassinated.
Very cool.
And so my name is Cheryl, and my number is 262-0606 for message.
All right.
And we can at least start handing them out in front of stores and simultaneously stick Terry on them.
You betcha.
Ooh, baby.
I'm ready.
Yeah, that's the wrath of Terry.
Yeah.
You and I can walk up to some wineries.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, girlfriend. You
Love
know
you
it.
guys.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Love you too.
Bye.
Bye. Hello, you're on the air.
Yeah, another thing we should watch out for is there's still rumors in the community that the gaming facility is coming up there.
Oh, really?
See, I was wondering if that was off the table or not.
That would make sense.
Yeah, matter of fact, one of the large tribes from down in the valley was rumored to have purchased it. So nobody has followed up, though, to find out for sure. So that's just a rumor right now.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
Everything's so secret right now, we just can't
Yeah,
find
we'll
the
have to wait
information.
till December. But how did you like the interview?
It was great.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. John's always, he just
Isn't he
inspires
awesome?
so many people.
Yeah,
And,
he's just so open,
Yeah,
You never
yeah.
have to feel uncomfortable talking
I
to
know.
him.
It's so truthful, and you pick up on,
This is the second time I've had the pleasure of meeting him and interviewing him. So
Wow, that was great.
Yeah.
I just haven't been connected with him in the last, 4 or 5 years. So
it sounds like he's not very connected with himself, though. When he asked him, where is he going to be, he says, I have no clue.
yeah.
Yeah, but he's that kind of way. He lives in a different world than us.
Oh, yeah. I also wanted to let the public know out there that I didn't do my show the other day. I had a lot of issues going on, but our appeal on Rattlesnake Island was denied by Judge Lunas.
Oh, of course. That doesn't surprise
so
me at all.
now we have until the 20th of this month, September, to file another appeal in Sacramento.
Okay.
And unfortunately, our attorney cannot continue with it. So we're looking for an attorney who would be able to help us appeal the case.
Is there any way to get it out of Lake County?
Well, we have to get it out of Lake
You
County this
have
time.
to.
Yeah, this time we have to go to Sacramento court, which is bitter, I think, for us.
I think so, too. I think
Yeah.
you get a fairer case, definitely.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that. And
appreciate it.
Okay, thanks for the
Thank
information.
you. Take care, Jim.
All right, bye.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that does it. Is there anybody here on this line? No. Okay. So that's it for phone calls for now. There is time for one or two short ones if anybody else wants to weigh in. We didn't get to talk about Clear Lake again.
No, but I really need to look at that in detail.
Okay. Okay.
What can I say?
All right.
I mean, it's nice that
Well, their next meeting is this Thursday, so city council meeting, and the PEG meeting is tonight. Some strange things going on over there as well that we'd like people to be aware of, and if you're interested in the PEG station, come on out and check what's going on. It's just very strange.
Yeah, let me reiterate that. Folks, if you do enjoy some of the new programming on PEG TV these days or want to see some changes to that, please come down and voice your opinions. We need support from people who do care about PEG TV. It is a very valuable resource for this county.
It
and
is.
It's being underutilized right now.
And it's being underappreciated. And yes, they have no staffing and they have no funding, and it's basically one person trying to do everything. But she's trying to do her best, and we're trying to get it so that it is more accessible. Right now, the city is kind of denying access at least 3 days a week. So we're kind of up in arms about that, in the sense that, that this is why it's called public access, and there is 24-hour access, but there have been requests from the police department for some reason, or just not even maybe a request. It might have just been one of the board members not wanting to bother them, so they just stopped allowing people to come in there after hours and on weekends to do projects or drop off video or whatever it is they need to do. So there's just some strange things happening. I would highly recommend anybody out there interested in the PEG station to come to the meetings, participate in the activities of what's going on there, so that we can make PEG a better station all the way around. We got a lot of good producers in this area, and they've kind of been estranged and put aside and put off about PEG because of the way things have been run in the past. But those things can change, and we want to encourage everyone to try to support the PEG station, because it is our local link to what's happening around our community.
So come on down and join us.
Yeah.
Please.
Definitely.
And
that's tomorrow at 6 o'clock. I mean, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Right.
Sorry.
City Council meeting for Clear Lake
It's tomorrow.
It's Thursday. Tomorrow, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so. And as everyone knows, the transit strike was settled. Excuse me, folks. And I want to talk about that more next week when we have a little bit more time, because basically everyone caved into paratransit. They got no concessions. They did get their 2.2% cost of living increase. They did not get their stepped up seniority increases. They did not get any additional health insurance premiums paid
no
for.
bidding
No, nothing.
hierarchy.
Absolutely zero, zip, nada. And I really want to get in a little bit more detail on that, because from day one I stated that the union had no foothold. They had no recourse whatsoever in their negotiations, and paratransit held all the cards. So I would like to go into that a little bit more on what happened and why it happened. I get other people's comments on that.
Yep, that'd be good. Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Pete and Terry.
Good morning.
I just wanted to suggest something here real quick. You know, in my thoughts, I was thinking, you know, what we could do is just find a big field somewhere and put a line across the middle of it, and you put the pot people on one side and the wine people on the other side, and then let them go for it.
So you want to do a tug of war over a mud pile, or you want to have them duke it out?
Whatever.
Whatever.
I love it.
Yeah, that's
it would be fun. I think we should. I think there's several different wrestling matches we could have in this town.
Free for all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No holds barred. Okay. Thanks. Bye.
That's an interesting.
Well, we do seem to have a very diametrically opposed community here. Either you're pro wine or pro weed, and it seems like you can't be pro both.
Why can't you be wine, women, and...
If fluoride is being incorporated in our wines, I'm immediately going to stop drinking wine, and I just started drinking wine after all these years, so that just really hurts me, because I would like to think, especially biodynamic and organic wines would have enough sense not to use something as dangerous as fluoride. So, you know, wine is something a lot of people use to temper their emotions and feelings, and then when you add into the mix fluoride, which automatically does that, you turn yourself into a zombie.
Okay. I'm getting Facebook messages.
Yes,
this
dear.
is horrible. Me getting Facebook messages.
It is.
It's actually messaging.
I'm ignoring my Facebook. Okay.
Okay. One of our listeners and people involved in the community wants us to mention about the AIDS walk on Saturday.
Oh, yes, please do.
I don't know anything about it. Do you?
Well, we can find out real quick.
I think he's still typing, so that's one
While
thing.
I'm looking this up, also we want to remind people that the sheriff is going to be talking to the Democrats on Saturday up at the in Nice at the Italian hall. He's going to be talking about his achievements over the last however many the last 2 years, I guess. So, and also probably we'll discuss and have questions answered. So if you have any questions for the sheriff, that might be a good opportunity. Okay, so...
And we also have, on Saturday, we have the Hot Fun in the Summertime.
What's that?
Outdoor event. It is at the City Hall parking lot in Clear Lake in front of the indoor flea market.
Okay.
And it's a fundraiser for transitional housing and skills center.
Oh, that's very nice.
So,
what are they going to be doing? Music?
That is from 10 to 2.
Cool. Saturday?
Saturday.
Oh, great. We'll miss it.
I know.
Every time. They do these things in Clear Lake on Saturday between 9 a.m. and noon, and I work in Ukiah until noon and don't get home here till 1
They're going to
o'clock.
have a bouncy house. They're going to have music,
Aww.
a health booth, and keynote speakers.
Very cool.
So it's actually a big
and
time
transitional housing, that's really
Yes.
important, especially here. So the AIDS walk, I've got it pulled up here, and we're still looking okay on time. Let me.
We have one caller.
We do.
Yes.
Well, let's jump there. Callers have to take priority. Hello, you're on the air.
Just a quick thought. I was wondering what the rest of the community would think if the marijuana growers were using fluoride.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, good point.
Oh yeah, they would be so vilified that it would be beyond reproach. I mean, beyond any kind of curing. We'd be the devil.
I applaud the bravery of that man.
Yes, and we thank him so much.
That other lady is not comprehending what powerful forces that exist.
I think she does. I don't think she cares.
Yeah, she's a rebel.
For her. Well,
She's a rebel.
What a great American then.
Yeah, she is. She's
she
that
is.
kind of person. Okay, thanks so much for that. You're absolutely right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, AIDS Walk is going to be on September 14th. That's, again, Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's in Austin Park and Clear Lake, too. So they're having that at the same time they're having the transitional housing get-together. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sorry.
So, again, that's going to be in Clear Lake at Austin Park. For more information, you can call 995-1606 or go to facebook.com/Lake County AIDS Walk for more information. So that's a huge event, always every year, and we are so happy that they do it.
Cool. Okay, one last comment I have.
Yes,
CNN, because I always give credit to the necessary news sources.
Of course.
Just made an announcement or put an article up on their page that the UN has officially announced that in Syria, both sides have been using abusive
Thank
weapons.
you.
And I repeat, both sides have been using chemicals and other atrocious types of fighting, and the only people suffering, folks, it's not the government, it's not the rebels, it's the civilians.
People. That's right.
They're the ones who are getting the damage.
That's right. And we do not support any kind of action in Syria at this time because we don't really know what's going on.
And that's the problem is we don't know.
I've seen several articles from Russian newspapers that say that the gas that was used actually came from Saudi Arabia, was given to the rebels, and accidentally went off in the rebel town. Okay, so we don't really know what's going on, and we cannot believe what we're hearing on the media, nor can we believe what our Secretary of State or President are saying, because they're using skewed information that's based on their own agendas.
Yeah.
So I say, keep your mind open. Don't encourage anybody to go to war. We don't need any more wars. We've had enough bloody wars, and let's heal our own country before we talk about healing anybody else.
And these came from the actual
Let the
UN
UN deal with
inspectors
it. Yeah.
that were just got left real fast
out.
because they left because they thought the Americans were going to do something.
Yeah.
But they did say both sides are
That's
guilty.
great. I'm glad that it's finally coming public. Okay, well, that does it for us, folks. Thanks so much for the calls and all the great conversations. It's another beautiful day in Lake County. Get out there and enjoy yourselves. It's sunny. It's only going to get to the mid-80s today, so you can definitely have a good day out there on the lake, or just even go into your job, enjoy it.
After we go home, we should take our puppy for a walk.
Oh, she needs that. Yeah, poor baby. She's been so left alone so
Yes.
much. Yeah. Okay, so we got our game plan. I hope you have yours, and we will catch up with you next week with more fun and games with Pete and Terry on Lake County Magazine.
Have a great week and be safe out there, please.
This is a little something from John Trudell, and it's called Material Junkies. You know who you are.